Tomorrow night's roasted chicken night, and we always get prepared the night before by setting the chicken up for dry brining. And I learned this from Kenji Lopez Alt, that if you put a little baking powder in with the salt mixture that you're going to prepare the chicken with, it turns out a little bit better. So it's 2 parts salt to 1 part baking powder. We add a little bit of pepper and garlic powder to that, and then mix it up really well. This time we did 2 tablespoons salt, 1 tablespoon baking powder for 1 chicken. Now we're going to cut out the backbone from the chicken. We always spatchcock, it just roasts a lot better, and you can do that with some kitchen shears. So just turn the chicken over and start cutting out the spine. Go up one side of the spine and then go in with the other side to cut that out. We always cut the little bits of fat at the neck and the little bits that are at the tail. Don't get rid of that back spine or those little extra bits that you cut off. You can turn those into stock or chicken schmutz later. Just really great byproducts from a chicken. Now you want to turn it over, breast side up, and just press down really hard. You're looking to break that poor little chicken's chest, getting him to lay as flat as possible. One of the tricks about this method is you need your chicken to always be as dry as you can get it. So get some paper towels, pat that little baby so he's just dry as a bone. Make sure you're cleaning up as you go, but make sure all the moisture is off the skin and that you've got that all set up. We're also going to work on tucking in those little wings. The tips will burn when you dry roast, so if you tuck them in before you do your overnight rest in the refrigerator, they tend to stay tucked back a little bit better. So now we're going to tuck those wings in, and we're going to start putting our salt and baking powder mixture all over the skin. Like I said, we use a little garlic powder and pepper mixed in with ours. You can do whatever you like. So you want to season that top side really, really well. You're going to kind of freak out thinking we use a lot of salt. Reminding my husband to salt from a little higher up. Get some more even coating if you keep your seasoning a little higher, but you really want it all over. You're just going to have to trust me. Use all that mixture and coat that chicken really, really well. Once you've got him dusted, patted pretty even on the seasoning, now we're going to get him ready to go onto his little roasting rack where he's going to spend the night. You want to make sure you have that grid in place so that you get air circulation going all around the chicken. So go ahead and put him on his little rack, and then we're going to tuck him into bed and let him sit in the refrigerator overnight uncovered. We want him totally free and exposed to the cold air, really trying to dry him out. So the next day, I am prepping a few items. I'm going to be making some compound butter to go along with it, so I just prep all the herbs that I need. So what I'm cutting here is more than what I'm going to actually need for the chicken, but we're getting some parsley together. I did speed this up. I don't cut that fast. Go ahead, take your time. There's a little bit of zen moment. Just get into the repetitive nature of it. Chop up your herbs pretty fine there. And if you have a spice grinder or a food processor with those little choppers, go for it. You do you. I just had the knife handy, so that's how I went. But you can go ahead and use whatever method you got that's easiest for you. Now for the hard herbs, the rosemaries, the thymes, the ones that have the very woody stems, I find it works a lot better if I get those broken down quite a bit. So if you're using a food processor, you probably don't need this step. But I really want to kind of get some of that hard woodiness out of it. And so I put it into a mortar and pestle. If you sprinkle some salt in there, it helps to grind them up. If you even do a little bit of a free chop, it helps to grind them up. I do this because if you just try to chop rosemary on a cutting board, those little suckers pop all over the place and they just make a huge mess. So I don't mind going through this, but like I said, it's totally up to you. You do you. Whatever works. But you can see I kind of got that ground down to a paste. Now if I try to chop it, it's not going to bounce all over the place. And then I can set that aside and put that with my other herbs. The garlic you see here did not go on the chicken. It went into the compound butter. We'll put that recipe up later. Makes the greatest roasted potatoes you've ever seen. But getting all those herbs kind of put together, we're going to put it onto the chicken a little bit later. Lastly, I had some oregano. So I went ahead and chopped that in. I just went with what was in the garden fresh. It's January in Texas, so this is what we had. And my poor sage plant had been all used up and hasn't really grown back. But if you like sage, go ahead and use that. If you have some lemon verbena lemon balm, you might want to throw that in, whatever kind of flavoring you like on your chicken. So I got all those herbs put together and set that aside. Now here, I'm sorry, my camera didn't catch it, But I pulled that bird, it was 24 hours after we dry brined, pulled him out, and I rubbed him down, got him totally dry. Make sure you're wiping him off. That's why we use so much salt, because a lot of it kind of gets pulled off once he comes out of the fridge. About 2 tablespoons of butter rubbed all over the skin, sprinkled all those herbs on, and I even drizzled a little bit of olive oil over it. We stuck a thermometer in him, and he goes into a 400-degree oven. Now here's the trick, you want him a little low in that oven. If he's too high to the heating element, you're going to get some little bit dark colors on the chest skins you don't really want. 400 degree, a little bit low. We pull it out when it says about 155 on the thermometer and let him rest for 20 minutes. And that gets us up to the 165 that USDA would recommend. But cook it to your likeness, but just use a thermometer so you get there. Now I was showing you that tray, all those drippings. Do not get rid of that. That is chicken schmaltz. You want to put that, filter it through, put it into a jar, store that in your refrigerator. Put it over some roasted vegetables later. You're going to thank me. So now you can see we've got this beautiful golden brown bird, and the carving was so easy. Just a simple knife was able to kind of go through, and the legs came right off. And then you can see that beautiful breast. He was cooked so perfectly. The seasoning so great, and this was so easy. A little prep time the night before, roasted off the next day, and you've got this fabulous roast dinner. And he was delicious. My daughter even went back for seconds, but this will serve you 4. So we served this up on a weeknight as a roast dinner. Using meal prep the night before always makes it a little bit easier, and just a fabulous meal. We served it with some roasted potatoes, roasted Brussels sprouts, and a little salad that we put together. Please try this. Find it on the recipe on our website at butterandsagemarket.com. Full recipe will be posted there. And if you try it, let us know how it goes. Make sure you subscribe, like all the YouTubey things, and we'll see you on the next one.